Hello, everyone. Whoop. Let's fix that. Okay, hello there. How we doing, people? Hey, Panteray, good to see ya. I need to rest out my bonfire before we do this terrible death run. Why am I doing this? I'm totally gonna die. Against Midir. Hopefully, he won't take all stream to kill. Oh, we should also take out items for the Mimic, because I want to do that as soon as possible, so let's make that easier. Now we've handled so much. Good, I'm glad to hear everything's doing swell. Alright, what do we want you. Now, these don't stack, so I should start with these. Let's get rid of this, we don't need this. Oh god, so many souls. Well, I've got my faith up to 40, so I think we can focus on other things now, at least. More berries. We're not going to worry about this crud for a while, so... we don't need you, we don't need you. And you. Yeah, I don't think Medea is going to be that bad. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm sure it'll be fine. He's a good boy. Drago over there, Shira's buddy is a good boy, you say, huh? I don't know. He look angry. He look angry. Let's go down here first. Now, if I recall, yeah, there, that's where we're gonna be knocking him down here. Again. Oh. Let's see. Mate, yeah, sure, just throw yourself off the ledge. I will. You won't hear me complain. Alright, so we will be endeavoring to knock him down into the abyss pit here. Now, unfortunately for him, this abyss pit apparently isn't solid, as it has a hole that leads down to the bottom of the valley into the lower world, which we will be going there shortly. There's the other shield. Just like I was told, the prophecy spoke of it, and it has been fulfilled. Midir is small dragon. That's small. I don't want to see big dragon. Let him in. Come on, bucko. As we can see, the corruption of the abyss is evident in his flames. I thought I could dodge roll you, you little piece of shit! I'm just gonna have to do a little poise break for that, I guess. Let's see. Can we do it? Now again, we're passing through where the church is, except we're going down underneath it specifically, so we're going to the basement. Oh, that didn't trigger you? Okay. There we go. Go! Ride like the wind! Oh, I didn't even need it. Oh my god. Our little push and pull friend over here is starting to really piss me off. I don't know why, I always remember being able to dodge roll through him, but this time I'm apparently just not fast enough. Alrighty. Oh, just... No, it just doesn't work. Maybe I should just run through it. Maybe that's safe. Maybe it won't, like, stun me. Oh my gosh, thank you. So I guess I should just iframe it, then. Instead of trying to just dodge roll past this boyo. Maybe that's my mistake. Again, as we can see, heading all the way down there. We're getting lots of Titanite scales and stuff from crystal lizards and things related to souls. That guy's having a bad day. Alright, now we will ignore Midir. Rubbish. Titanite scales. Now recall, the Titanite scales, and the Titanite lizards comes from them eating souls, which are we've often found be the case when they are in graveyards. Now we don't see any ravenous Titanite crystal lizards here. Oh. But we do see ourselves a graveyard. You can stop now, bud. I don't want you clipping through the... Oh. I didn't even get my chance to talk to Patches!
Every age, it seems, is tainted by the greed of men.
Oh no!
Rubbish to one such as
Plot
I,
twist.
devoid of all worldly wants.
I did not see this coming. I love how they animate him laughing with his chest, but they can't bother with his lips.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way we are. I'll stick you in my prayers. A fine dark soul to you.
There we go. That ends. What's up with the symbol adorning the domes in the city that is also the ceremonial marriage sword used on Henri as the Lord? As a symbol, specifically? Hard to say. It seems to just be used for the Sword of Avowal, without any particularly... Do we still have it, actually? I don't... Oh, yeah, because we used it on Henri, so we don't have it anymore. But it's basically just a ring through the hilt, right? And that's basically how the guard is constructed. It's not anything seemingly special on its own. Alright, so we're back here at the bottom, thanks to good old Patches Boy. We can now, I think, if I recall correctly, this will take us here, which will take us to Blessed Gem, Holiness, very important to point out. Anyway, I don't know if this symbol has any particular meaning or anything. However, I think the point being made here is that Londor is, of course, and by way of Koth, is trying to resurrect the original pygmy hollow culture of man, right? And the idea with the Sword of Avowal, of course, is that it's a key, it's literally a key, to that future that they're planning out through the whole Age of Hollows ending that they're going for. So I think with how the symbol is being reused so much in the Ring City, the idea that we're supposed to take from that is that, yeah, these are cultural elements which through Koth, Londor has been able to reclaim. Similar to how we see, of course, the banners. The idea being with the... Do we have that too? Yeah. The idea being, of course, is that the small Lothric banner is taking from the old Anor Londo banner used back when Gwyn was still around. Well, I deserve that. Who would have ever guessed that Patches actually Patches? Seriously, though, Patches is amazing in this game. Definitely his best version. I agree. I like Patches in all the games, but it is nice how what they do with the character here. Oh no! Oh no! I am so regretting this. Please, lap, Patches. All right, let's do this. It hurts you. I don't know what this game's planning to do. Oh my god. Holy hell. I hate you. Yeah, stay out there. Hollow gem, because we're about to find hollows. We got blessed gem in the graveyard up here to tell us that it's holy. You done? Where's our buddy? There he is. Come swoop down. Alright, so we want to go here. Then Pat leaves behind his armor because he's going back to being Patches. Just imagine. Now, I don't know for certain. Obviously, we talked about the idea of quest rewards, so maybe it's not necessarily canon or whatever that he actually leaves his armor here. It's more to show how he's leaving his idea of left behind in a more metaphorical or narrative sense. But suffice to say, I do like to think that Patches literally just took off his armor, is literally wearing nothing but his skivvies underneath, is just kind of... just kind of going around back home somewhere. Wherever home could be in this place. Oh boy, not again, yeah. Again, unfortunately. This is what I get for being dumb and dodge rolling, but it wouldn't be a Loki stream if I didn't somehow kill myself at the beginning by falling to my very easily avoidable demise. There's our Mimic. There's our little farm. Let's till the earth. Once we find ourselves a bonfire. We gotta go this way. Now this is quote-unquote the common grave. The idea being is here that all the commoners are all being buried here together. The idea is that's a... I think the localization puts it at what? Shared grave, I think it is. The idea being is, of course, they aren't important like the pygmies, so instead of getting their individual graves, they're just all basically kind of buried here together. Which, again, begs the question why you're even bothering with the coffins and the little individual little cubbies here in the first place, but hey. Maybe some commoners are more important than others. Oh. Or maybe they just want to have it all stuffed into one big coffin, because they can't be bothered to change. Again, we see how the Dark Souls being larger. Whoop. Dark Souls causing all those wonderful Dark Soul growths on these things. All that wonderful, wonderful tree growth. Oh. Oh. Darn it. I fell for it, even though I was like, oh, I gotta avoid this. Whatever. Yeah, moaning night. Alright, so much like with Alva, we're seeing the spirit of Aegon being brought back from the dead to haunt us from the abyss. Lightning gem, because again, much like the blessed gem, God's being involved in this. Again, this is right under the church. So again, the church is having direct oversight of the burial of everyone, who are not even the royalty, as we see, because the church is right across from where they get their special graves. Oh. That's actually some decent damage you did there, buddy. I'm actually impressed. Also, Havel Ring, I'm so happy. Simple gem, interesting, the idea is that there is magic involved here. We'll see, perhaps by the pygmies themselves. As we recall, Manus will later go on to found Ulasil and, with the discovery of, dark sorcery, so... Interesting future there. Oh. We get a dark gem, of course. Oh. Dark animating all these skeletons. This is the end. Conveniently enough. So time to, oh wait, no, we gotta go backwards. Right. We gotta go back, and then down, and then rada. And then I gotta worry about our Titanite friend. Next time I'm gonna just get my pyromancy out instead of trying to be nice. And now we go this way. Oh yeah. Yeah, because we gotta go this way, and then go up, and then go forward, right? Okay. Okay. I'm getting lots of souls. That scares me. I don't know if I can spend them in time, but we shall see. Wait, because large souls are like 30k, right? Yeah, so... that's 60k. This is like 10k, I think? Oh no, was it? This is 20k, and this is... This has 40k, 60k, 8k, I think? I don't know, I got all my... Maybe it's 4k or 6k or something. Anyway, let's focus on this. This is more important. Now, I forget, do you help with my oh, right. No, it just helps with souls, so you're not gonna help with my discovery chance. You will. This is, yeah, +3. Look at that discovery jump. The no luck build. And then we got this magic. Does this increase discovery? Well, we're gonna use one for Midir anyway. No, it does not increase my discovery. The fire is countering the fate of humanity. Ree! Okay. Let us return. Now maybe we'll be lucky, and I'll steal the mimic his own head. First try. Hey, a guy can dream. Oh, speaking of, wait, if I'm gonna do that, I need the Lloyd talismans. I forgot to grab those. Whoopsie daisy. Storage box. Where is it? There it is. Only 4. We're gonna have to go back and buy so many. I'm gonna waste all my souls getting freaking these just so I can just so I can deal with the farm. Oh my. Oh no. Oh, I just didn't want to deal with all of you. Yes. Actually, good. I need the souls. I'll need the souls for all the farming I'm gonna probably have to do. Oh, look. Yep. Sorry, bud. Let me help with that. There, you can sleep forever now. Yeah, this is just normal bones. Here we go. We will talk about what's inside the mimic in a second, but we will first deal with... Nope. No luck. Alright. Just to be safe. Don't know how long this lasts, but I do not want to... Thrilling gameplay you're watching here. Nope, didn't drop. Darn. I think it's still active, so... Actually, you know what? A good way to tell... Can we get rid of anything that... Yeah, it doesn't deal with... Okay, yeah, so... It's hard to tell if it's still active or not, so I'll do this every time. Come on. Nope. No, it won't drop! I love the sound effect of the mimic slip. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, that's it for my Lloyd's Talismans. I gotta go buy like 50 more, so... BRB, I guess. Human pine resin from these skeletons, again, because, well, that's the fluids of the abyss that are covering them. Wait, why am I doing this through here? Shrine by fire. Granny! I need your stuff! Give me that ashen good. Those ashen goods. Yes. Wait, do we have anything we need to give you? Oh, Grey Rat.
Well, what warm umbral ash have we here? It's as if thy fate were with death entwined.
Listen, I promise I didn't send him there on purpose for getting him killed. I really believed in him. I thought this time, this 5th playthrough, it would do the charm.
There is little I love more.
Yeah, we know you like souls. Now, here. I'll give you lots of souls. Just, there we go. Just buy 159. Why don't you? I'm gonna have my faith that 15 will be enough.
Ashen one.
There we go. It's about the souls I think I'm getting back from doing this. So wait, actually, how many can I carry? Only 5 though. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun time, isn't it? We're not even gonna get to the Midir stream. It's just gonna be the can Loki roll a mimic? Can I roll a brand of the greedy? A symbol of avarice. A symbol of avarice. My kingdom for a symbol of avarice. I don't care about you right now. Just go away. Oh. Okay. That problem solved itself. Oh. Not enough strength? We're gonna be here for a while. I'm actually curious what the numbers are for Brand of the Greedy, because we haven't got on any of the stuff so far. I'm actually kind of regretful. If I knew that we were gonna be this unlucky, I would have popped these earlier. Come on. Come on. Oh, will Crystal Sages help on this regard? Probably, yeah? Yeah, we should grab that next time. There we go. Okay, good. Wait, Crystal Sage's rapier, though, needs his soul, so... I don't got that. Nope. Oh, wait a second. I could see whether or not it's applying on the right here. I'm an idiot, so yeah. I'm wasting these unnecessarily. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's a separate roll on each run here, so... Let's hope that humanity stat helps us through here. That'll, yeah, alrighty. Come on. Yeah! We got it! Woo! Alright, what do I want? We don't need you anymore. We'll do this. Okay, so you're never changing, so you just stay here for get comfy. What's the next thing that's not gonna change? Havel. We're gonna be stuck with Havel for a while. What's after that? We go full pyro. We go full pyro. More pyro. Alrighty. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty confident on this debt kill. Oh, I should have worn his own head for BM. Dang. I didn't even think about it. Thank Furtive Pigby. I got it. We don't have to waste our time. I bought 10 Lloyd talismans I didn't need. Oh darn, these undead hunter charms. Whatever am I gonna do? Granny, you ripped me off. You didn't tell me that I wouldn't have to use all of them. Alrighty. We are safe here, which means now just... let's see how many souls I have, and if we have just barely enough. Okay, yeah, so we might be able to make this work. Because I need like 2k, so... Come on. Alright, this should be 32? Yeah, okay. Okay, okay, I'm good. And then... Ooh, we're close. Need another 30k. Let's go to Irithyll for a quick thing with this. And then we'll use that level up on my vitality stat, and then we'll be good. Hey, buddy. Beautiful. You guys give me like a few thousand. Oh. Yeah, these guys still don't provide much. You guys are still meager. Oh! You die so fast! I forgot! Almost 215k. Yeah, and then once we do that, we can go after Midir without any complaint. In fact, I'm actually pretty confident that I can go after Midir now. Because I'm pretty sure all I need is to sell my stuff in my, my inventory. Yeah, so let's switch back to my helm. Oh, wait. Oh, this is... That's not equip. You're equip. There we go. Alrighty, let's put away some of the stuff that we're not going to be using, so we don't accidentally sell it. Let's go here. We're gonna put you away for now, 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 you. Actually, no, you come back out. Where are you? You. Pretty sure we got the thrall. Yeah, we got the thrall hood already. You. All your different masses, Ollie. You. Yep, no. Not you. You. Wait, I already have one of you, so no. You. 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 Lap. Pretty sure I already have Lothric Knight. Yeah, we already have Lothric Knight stuff. Harold. Ruins. Yeah. I think that covers. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not adding this back. Oh. Alright, so I think I can sell the rest and make about what I need. Burning the Boreal Valley to the ground, hell yeah. I killed your master. I came back for you. Oh, yes. We got you here, you here, you here. You here. You here. You here. You here. Yes. More power. Was it 15 or 17? No, yeah, we're a little over already. I was getting a little too into it. I was so into selling. Slowly but surely. Yeah, do I need anything else? I'm really... No, we're going to be beating Gale with Pyromancy, so... Attunement's good. Endurance isn't going to get any better anytime soon, so no point in investing the long game there. Strength and Dexterity won't be relevant. Yeah, let's focus on this. Get this to 40.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Yeah. Focus on that. Because the sooner I can put this on my full armor, let's see. Does it work? I think it should... I think it's a little off still, but we'll see. Where's Tarkus? There you go. Yeah. We're still a long way off from... we're putting on Black Iron. Okay. Gotta put you back so we don't accidentally sell you. There we go. Well, yeah, I gotta get up to 40, I guess. Sorry about that, had a knock at the door. Oh, I went to the wrong place too. Just people with mail. Let's see. We want to go here. No, we want to go to Ring City and Shared Grave, yeah. Talk about the Ring of the Evil Eye you found in the Mimic. Oh, okay, right. We shouldn't forget about that. Alright, so, as we pointed out earlier, this is the common grave, i.e. everyone in this quote-unquote shared grave is being buried together. Every commoner who's not part of the... Well, I guess commoner... I guess you could also say nobles, but we don't know if there are necessarily nobles in the Pygmy Kingdom, but whatever the case is, we can see that everyone who's not the royalty is being buried here, underneath the Church of Filianore, under the Anor Londo's watchful eye. Now... one of those items seems to have been confiscated and put in a mimic. Now again, recall how we have both lightning and blessed gems here to remind us not only are the gods watching over this place, they're really looking closely because they're afraid of unholiness. Where's the rings? There we go. And again, recall that Astora had been attacked by this creature called the Evil Eye. The implication, by the way, that it absorbs HP from foes. Very much like some effects we see with the Dark, tells us that this was a dark creature that attacked Astora. Now, we talked already about the idea that Henri's sword, the one of the most noble, elaborates on the tale in Dark Souls 1, because Dark Souls 1 sort of gives the impression that Astora had this evil eye defeated, and this was credited to the gods and their holy divine power or providence or what have you. So as a result, we see how their knights use blessings on them, and generally we see Astora is a slightly more religious place compared to your average kingdom. Now, it's just also interesting, of course, because Astora has some magic roots as well, with sorcery and things like that, so it gives the idea that this maybe not was always the case, and that there is the... Oh! There are essentially hints that the... We're not going to deal with this. Essentially, there are hints that Astora was very likely one of the many nations which, of course, had dark adherents. Maybe it wasn't as popular or anything. It was more like a neutral, and maybe their history and stuff had been forgotten by this point. But very obviously, it was a country which at least had some dark presence. You can imagine a creature like the Evil Eye possibly being created, because, again, it's the dark. Has that sort of self-generation of life that doesn't always go the way the experimenter wants, and it could be that this caused a huge calamity. Now, the irony that Dark Souls 3 tells us is that, very much in typical Estrella fashion, the one who actually defeated the Evil Eye didn't do so thanks to the power of the gods or divine providence or anything. It was purely luck. The power of the Dark Soul was what ultimately won the day out. Now, granted, you could say the Dark Soul caused the problem in the first place, but the point is, it wasn't something that Astora should have necessarily been embraced wholeheartedly the gods for. And as we said earlier, it's very likely that Londor destroyed Astora and built itself on its remains, so it's come full circle in many ways. The idea with the Evil Eye, of course, is telling us that, yes, this incident took place seemingly before the Ring City was sealed, because a commoner was able to get their hands on a piece of the Evil Eye which was put into a ring. Now, originally in Dark Souls 1, this was a unique item that was only acquirable in, it was a unique item that was only acquirable in, I think it was the Depths, right? The idea being is that, you know, thieves, unsavory folks, you know, someone who might have procured the Evil Eye. Dark Souls 2, of course, makes a lot of rings that were seemingly unique, kind of generic items, which, again, is not unreasonable, because the idea is the Evil Eye soul could have been split into pieces and put into various rings. It didn't necessarily have to be the one ring. Now, Dark Souls 3 builds on that by saying, yeah, one of these rings ended up in the Ring City, telling us that, yeah, the attack on Astora is a fairly old event. It occurs well before the linking of the fire by Gwyn. Rather, in the sealing of the Ring City, which, of course, has basically kept everything together. The gods, of course, are very hyper... sensitive to anything dark related, though, so naturally when they see one of these among the citizens being buried here, they're quick to take it off and just shut it in a mimic as quickly as possible there, like on the spot. So we still have no idea who/what the Evil Eye is. We know that it's a monster. We basically know that it's a dark monster. That's what we know, and that's about it. Like, its appearance, we have an idea of its powers based, of course, on what it can do. Also, just the name tells us that an eye was presumably a very prominent aspect of it. But other than that, no, we don't have any, like, details. Like, we don't have concept art of, like, what they were planning to make with it. They don't really do anything other than sort of play on the trope of, well, an evil eye. A very common trope in spiritual circles. So the point being is that I wouldn't say that the form and the appearance of the Evil Eye is that important. Just leave it to fan artists to come up with what that creature was like. What is important is, in fact, its implications for Astora, and now, as we can see, for the Ring City. The idea that it's such an ancient event in Astora's history, and it gives us an idea that, of course, again, stuff like this was what the gods would capitalize on in order to push man further and further away from its heritage, to push the dark and those who followed it more and more into the fringes of human society, until they were basically existing in the remote mountains and forests and, you know, living as barbarians in seedy, unsavory places, which only made them more and more unpalatable to the civilized masses living in their cities and all that, the metropolitans types. So you can kind of see how, again, Gwyn's manipulation was very masterful, and now we can see how very systematic everything is in regards to what we see in Dark Souls 1, but we see it even applies here in the Ring City. Of course, naturally. Ring City has the largest concentration of the Dark Soul. It has, if there's going to be a quote-unquote human rebellion from the dark, you would expect that the Ring City would be the prime candidate to do so. They are the ones that could come out from this land at the ends of the earth and tell all of humankind across the world, hey, this is your true heritage, reclaim it, and let us begin the age of men. Well, thankfully, Gwyn's was able to get things pretty solidly in his camp before any of that went down. Excuse me, Midir, I'm a little busy. Thank you. Oh! Oh, okay. Midir, I'm here to give you your medicine. It's called death. Oh. Okay, sure. I guess I dodge rolled too early there. Oh. Oh, okay. I'm tempted to just do pyromancy on him. If I don't dodge roll late. Why are you doing this to me, game? Oh god, we're gonna be here forever. Number? Oh my god. Just stop. Oh my god. How did I get... Ah, yeah. Wait, why is it sometimes it does 50 and sometimes it does 200? I do not get that. Be consistent. That explosion was too close for comfort. You done? Oh! Oh my god, let me do my thing! Oh my god! Why are you I don't know why it sometimes does 50 and sometimes does 200. I do not get this hitbox. I do not get this hitbox. Oh, well, that was a pretty decent run. I'm a little pissy. A little pissy about dying there, because I hate that explosion. Oh. Okay. Just gonna do it early, huh? God, I hate this boss. Did I mention how much I hate this boss? What a freaking pain in the ass. Honestly, this would be better, I think. Oh. Not if I dodge roll late, though. As we can see, he even bleeds black. Black Misty Dark. Obviously, his beam is also the dark. We can see how he suffered crystallization from all the dark corruption he's had. Yeah, this is much faster. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, sure. Sure, whatever, Midir. The boss fight, though, if you fight him head on, which is not a pro, but also as things are, unfortunately, is actually pretty cool, I'd say. And I just hate the whole fight. I do anything I can to not engage with that fight proper. It's just, I hate it so much. It's boring. It makes me fall asleep. I would rather be sniffing glue. Oh. Oh my god, I hate you. Hey Midir, Dark Souls 2 called. They want your shitty bosses back. Hey, Dark Souls 1! You ready to take back Calamity? I got you a new Calamity. Even more tanky obnoxious. Okay. Oh, okay. I will accept that. Alright, gonna go berserk? Yeah, there we go. Oh! What? What? Oh my god, I hate this. This isn't my first run, this is my fifth. This is my fifth time going against this boss. I have not liked him any time I've ever done it with him. I just don't like this boss. I would argue he's probably one of the worst bosses the game has. Keep in mind, this is my opinion of basically every dragon boss. I just find that Midir does it the worst of them all. I mean, if you're gonna do that. I thought that was a little late, but okay. Oh, okay, game. There we go. I don't think this matters, but yeah, I should bring the helmet just in case. But yeah, I don't think we get souls from this, right? Yeah, no. Even Calamite? Oh yeah, definitely Calamite. I do not like the bosses, which their main gimmick is they're big, they're slow, so they're easy to dodge, but they do tons of damage. It's like, ugh. Boring. I will take one of the gimmick fights over that. And the gimmick fights, I mean, I like them, like, conceptually, but, like, they're always way too easy for what they're doing. It's like they're designed to hold your hand while they do it. Except maybe Mikolash. Mikolash is just kind of annoying, it seems like. But again, I haven't played Bloodborne, so... Maybe I'll have a different opinion when I actually play the game, and I'll be like, oh, hey, this is a cool gimmick fight. Lots of illusory walls for whatever the reason may be. But the end result is, again, another Gertrude-posed corpse. This one is smiling as they carry the lightning miracle. We can assume, then, that this was a female knight, much like Shira. One of the few. Again, notice the red carpets and fancy chairs. Again, giving the idea, along with the clergy hollow and what we saw before, that this is a special room for the Anor Londo folks. You can say this is their wing. There we go. Oh. Yes. Titanite scale. Pretty unpopular opinion, I respect that. Yeah, I don't really care for popularity that much. Let's see. We want to get that. Talk about that. Let's get the shortcut first. Is there a locked gate before that shortcut? Yeah, there is. So I'm gonna have to call that thing back down. That was stupid of me. Oh well. Let's go here first. Oh no, wait, just waiting here. Okay, so there's literally no reason not to go up. Okay, I'm just an idiot. I accept my title as Chief Fool. Get back down here, Irithel lift. That's been recontextualized to be a Anor Londo lift. There's our church. So that's where we were fighting Midir, down there. Midir. Yep. Again, all of this is still in the building for the Royal Mausoleum. Okay. Okay, first things first. We'll talk to Shira in a second. Oh. Okay. It's okay, I didn't want to... We'll go do this after this. As we can see, there's the statue without the sword. The idea being is this is the hint that this statue is a illusory wall hiding an important chamber. We can see how the corpse here is bowing to the Silver Knights to show respect and reverence. They are, of course, the most public, and therefore you can assume the highest form of knighthood one can get, besides obviously special cases where Gwyn specifically honors you, like with the Four Knights. Again, gets a point across. I don't think I have a shot of this with the illusory wall unbroken, so let's rectify that. Yeah, that looks good. There we go. We're not going to be opening that, though, because Midir is not our chief concern. Our chief concern is Papa gonna get his ring. Oh. As you can see, we have Gwyn with, in his, slightly different outfit than he's normally depicted wearing. He's actually not wearing his battle attire, but just a normal, plain old Kingsley robe type of deal. Very plain, at least in this depiction. Then again, Dark Souls doesn't actually realistically depict statues with colors like they would be historically. They do the modern conception of statues as just being boring and bland. But anyway, suffice to say, he's wearing different attire. The idea, of course, he's wearing his pointed crown, as always. And as we can see here, we can see him presenting a crown to a pygmy. Now, obviously, this is a pose reminiscent of the pygmies in Dark Souls 1's opening cinematic. So the idea being is that the furtive pygmy who was similarly crouched down when gathering the Dark Soul is essentially being brought over with Gwyn saying, hey, here I am, I'm going to make you a king and uplift your society. Notice how he stands tall over it, while this statue here is again depicted as lowly, naked, uncivilized, almost like a beast that's having to look up like a pet to its owner. Really sort of sets the tone for what the gods and Gwyn are trying to say here. The medials are the ones who brought the pygmies to these heights. Remember where you came from. Always keep the faith. All the Silver Knights surrounding to watch. Oh well. As for the Chloranthy ring, we talked about this in one of the first streams, like number 3 or something like that. The idea of the Chloranthy ring, as Abyssal Archive will go into more detail about, is that this is an early symbol of Anor Londo. It uses the common symbol of a blossoming flower to represent the sun. In this case, the blossoming flower deals with stamina, which is of course relevant considering, and is green, which is relevant of course in context because we have Shira here, who serves obviously another nature goddess, but this, instead of Guinevere's healing, seems to be more about supporting in other ways in terms of building the civilization. Again, recall, Gwyn gave Filianore as his gift to the pygmies along with their city. As we can also see here, of course, is the idea that it's, of course, in a very old ring, obviously, and more importantly, the idea that it gives energy, it gives stamina. It allows you to do more things with your stamina. Therefore, we have the similar idea that, again, with the offer of the crown comes the offering to increase your possibilities, to allow you to achieve new heights, to open avenues that weren't available to you before, to let you become so much more than you are now. Gwyn being Santa Claus over here. Yeah. Now let's go see our favorite girl. I can remember, is there anything left at Lap's chair? I think there is. Well, no more pushing you. I've had it with your pushing. Oh! Right. I need my, I need this. You know what? I'm gonna be extremely... Oh. I'm gonna be cheeky just because I'm very happy I got this. Let's see how long before I get myself killed with this thing on. There you are. My greed knows no bounds. I am truly the Lord of Hollows. Hey. Alright, this is how this is supposed to go. There we go. Yes, 3k souls. I think it was like 2k or something last time, so... Come on. Come on. Oh, whoopsie. Oh, okay. Hey, Shira, I'll be right down. I just gotta take the long way around. You cool with that? Cool. See you in a 5. Oh. Now again, recall how we talked about this being likely a kind of residence to for Shira and knights like her in the city. So we can imagine very much, again, recall that in order to get down here, we have to go through the monastery, as we called it. That monastery, of course, connects up here, takes us to the top roof of, again, the knight residence building, then into the mausoleum. Then you climb the stairs up, then go to the bonfire room, and that bonfire room has the elevator for you to go down the lift all the way to either the bottom, to Filianore's church, or to the mid part, to the secret chamber that that Shira will tell us about. So again, it's all connecting into a rather logical system here. So they can go through, deal with the hollow clerics, which likely also would be involved in burial rites here. Oh. Oh, okay. Not now, boyo. Can't you see I'm busy here? Oh, okay. I didn't want to deal with you, but I want your souls. I want your souls. Ree. My greed. Oh, there we go. Oh my god, you're blocking from that angle? Just screw you. You are such a dumb shield enemy. Okay, sure. I mean, if you want, I'll go this way and... Okay. Alright, we don't need this anymore. Look at all those souls. And first things first... Oh. That was not the plan! That was not the plan! I'm choking! I'm choking! At the very end. want the head. Alright, let's deal with this before we get cursed to death. No. Alright. I think we're safe. Oh, you're coming back. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you do that. No. Come on, come here. Come on. Fall. You good? Greed! There we go. Alrighty, Shira, give us that dank lore we came all the way down here to hear.
So, Midir hath into the chasm fallen.
Oh,
Still
I didn't know
his
you lost your lover. My condolences.
The dark grieveth him yet. I prithee, put him to rest, afore the dark consumeth him, and his vows are forgot.
Oh man, why are you hollow? You going to be for a luck build or something? No, it's because I have a Lord of Hollows thing, so... Honestly, I'm probably going to keep it until next time, so we'll see. Again, who the hell thought that having the Herald Knights aggroing you in front of Shira's door was a good idea? I have to know it. Yeah, I would like to know too. I would like to ask Miyazaki at his desk, who was it, go over to their little cubicle, and then tell them they're a very bad person, complete with finger wagging, let me tell you.
Just afore the church of the princess standeth a tower, honouring ancient knights.
Oh?
There lieth a small shrine, behind the sculpted knight, which beareth no arms.
I see.
'Tis from there one may descend the chasm of darkness. I prithee, put the great dragon to rest.
Gotcha.
I know, I have asked of thee a thing most terrible. Forgive me. Thou wert but mine only hope. Just afore the church of the princess standeth a tower built to honour ancient knights. Behind the sculpted knight, which beareth no arms, is a small shrine, from which one may descend the chasm of darkness. I prithee, put the great dragon to rest, before the dark consumeth him and his vows are forgot.
So before she locked herself in this room, thankfully, she has a very, very good ear, because she not only hears that Midir has fallen, she knows that he fell down into the valley. She's like, oh, I can recognize that echo. That's a valley fall. And that takes him straight down to the lower world from over there. So basically, she's like, okay, so go down the quote-unquote dark valley, and then once that is done, slay him, right? Well, it's like, okay, that sounds reasonable. Oh. Oh my god, I've never been this bad on the timing with them, but I'm proving myself a noob. There we go. Give me that 17k souls. Alrighty. Anything else we need from her? No, we don't. So let's just go back to our bonfire. George R.R. Martin put those Herald Knights there. I want to make a joke about this so bad, but I'll keep it to myself. Do it. Maybe the joke about Martin. Of course, it's about Martin. It depends on the joke. I will not stand and judge of whether you should do it or not. Make your own choice. Just don't make me have to ban you. Shira Midir have a Zoom call. That's how she knows it. Just calls him up on Skype. Oh, you got a concussion down there? You're gonna be out for a little while? Okay. Gets off the call. Okay, so Ashen wanna about killing Midir, about killing my friend. Alrighty. As we can see, we anime boys. and girls, all you folks. Oh, more of the blossoming flowers. All I gotta say is, Midir, ring knights be hardcore. Yep, come on. There we go. Now they reused the assets of the acolytes from Irithel, but they remove the heads and have the arms instead hold a spear. Very awkwardly, might I add, how they make them do it. We could also see them do the same thing here, except they hold the spear upward. Again, rather awkward, I might add, considering it's supposed to be a sword there. Just look at those hands! As we can see, the various spears of the church. Thank you for giving me that ritual fragment. We see what looks like a stone replica of a book with some writing here on the wall. Presumably this is their creed, the mission of which all the spears of what they will take when they step forward into this church to be receive their vows. Now, obviously, the spears of the church are essentially no more at this point. They're basically a dead order during all this sealing business and all the time that's passed. But we can join them. Oh, right. I gotta go. Gotta go kill Midir first. Gotta get our honorary dragon member done. Again, as you can see, the statues of Gwendolyn giving us the idea that this church... Yes, I can see that. Now, the series, this doesn't clarify whether the king refers to the firstborn or Gwyn. Now, again, oh, yeah. Whether it refers to the firstborn as the king or Gwyn. Because, again, firstborn and Gwendolyn were working together to guide the humans, so it's possible that, given the influence of Gwendolyn, that this was the firstborn's order, and this was to his sister. However, it's also possible that this all happened before with the sealing and everything, while Gwyn was still in power, simply because, again, this would be sort of his interest early on in the gods' fight. And Gwendolyn could, again, still be helping Daddy, as we see in Miracles, though it's hard to see here. What's a weak one? Here we go. It's hard to see, but you can see the idea of the image of Miracles from Dark Souls 1, though it's higher quality in Dark Souls 3, is that you see Anor Londo during daytime, seemingly at one of the roofs of the Royal Manor that we can go to in Dark Souls 1. You have all the Silver Knights standing in their positions in their lines and lines of them, and they're standing before Gwyn, who's outstretching his Lord's soul, either to offer them some power or to fulfill some other purpose, maybe just giving a rousing speech or whatever, reminding them of the power from which they come from. And of course, there, standing behind him, we see that little white twig with the little dark helmet there is, of course, Gwendolyn, as always. As cool as it looks, it's very silly how he runs with two swords almost as big as him. Well, again, it's anime. The cool will always outstrip the logic. But then again, it's the same thing, like, I have the same reaction whenever I see someone, like, holding up a person with their one hand. I'm like, that's not physically possible. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry, I've never known anyone with the strength that could actually do that without, like, breaking something in, like, their spine. But again, like, we don't come for media for realism. Alright, so we got 140k. I don't want to fight good old Midir with all these souls on the line, having to grab them like we did with Demon Princes. So we're gonna do some quick farming at we'll do some quick farming at Grand Archives. I could have swore there's a Lingering Dragon Crest +3 ring in this level, but I'm probably crazy. Maybe I'm thinking of New Game Plus ring. Ah, dang it! I could just go straight to the archives. I don't need to do this. But yeah, let's get some souls. Because if I recall correctly, it's about 60k. Yeah, it's about 60k without the helmet. So with this thing on, it should be worth so much more. We should be able to get more than enough to... Yeah. Yeah. Alright, let's go. I came back more powerful than ever. Meanwhile, I shall be over here. Thanks, boys. Yeah, keep going. Perfect. 37k. Dearest me. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I just got 72k watching two bozos fight over me. I feel special, smile. Alright. I suddenly don't care about... I suddenly don't care about how many souls I might have left over because I can make that back in no time. Yeah, that's stupid. That is stupid. Level up.
Then take no.
Vitality.
Farewell, Ashen One.
So what is the number we want to be at in terms of percentages? Let's see. Organize. There we go. So it's 83.9. But admittedly, that's with me wearing this helmet on. Without the helmet, I'm actually not that bad. And if we remove the staff, yeah, I'm actually not that far off from wearing this. With a few more level ups there, I could totally do it. Now 37k, that's one of those guys, so I don't mind losing that too badly. We are gonna need to start equipping the staff though, that is true. So alright. Time to make Orbeck proud. This time for sure. Heretic staff. Oh, whoopsie. Alright, so what do I want to do here? Yeah, we need this though, right? We're not good enough for that, so we're still gonna need one of these. Let's see if this will work. Sure. and sure. Anything else that keeps us under that's worth... No. It's basically, these are all our options. Okay. Let's go for the Ring of Favor +3, so we have a little extra of everything. Alright, and then we switch out our spells, our Spiggity Spoos, our Spezzleweenies, our Spezzlewanies, and... Oh... We want Pestilent Mercury, right? So... No, that's Snap Freeze. Oh, no, wait, I don't even need to take it out, do I? It just adds it, right? Yeah, so... Yeah, no problem then. I just gotta find the spell. Are you kidding me? Is me taking it out... Oh, right, I put it away. That's why. I'm like, I'm an idiot. Okay. I thought I was just adding whatever is. Let's see. Tune. There we go. Okay. I had a brain fart there. I had a senior moment. Let's not be a boomer now and get back. Mausoleum Lookout, entering inner wall. Yeah. This is where we want to go. Completely unrelated question. Favorite boss in the game? Ooh, in this game? Gameplay-wise, probably Sullivan. Yeah, Sullivan is a pretty good fight. Gale's okay too, but Gale feels a little too smooth when you get into it. Sullivan mixes up just enough so you always feel like you're on your toes. Gale, after a certain point, you kind of feel the formula, and then it just becomes a health bar to get through. Yeah, Sully's a good fight, I think. That's for gameplay, and then let me think if I have anything else I'm forgetting. Yeah, you know what? I don't care about the thing. I got my shot already. I'm thinking of something else with this for gameplay wise. Maybe no, not Soul of Cinder. Soul of Cinder is more of a lore fave if I had to pick. But yeah, Sully would probably be gameplay, and then lore wise. Maybe Aldrich. Like he could be he might be that one that I like the most in terms of lore, but I think you know what? I'm gonna be unconventional and say Wolnir. I really like Karthus lore with Wolnir in it and all that. Wolnir's just an interesting character by himself. Shame his area is so shit, but lore of it, and his boss fight is also nothing to sneeze at or anything. Well, I guess there's a lot to sneeze at with it. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. Again, we see the symbol that was mentioned earlier, the idea of a ring with the line going straight through it for that. Again, we see how there are these primordial serpents here. And this is very important. The antiquated wrap and the garb. So again, the plain garb gives an idea of what a non-royal of Ulasil would dress in. Now, of course, Ulasil is filled with nobility and stuff, so even their quote-unquote commoners are kind of like richly dressed. But it does give us the idea of what the non-royals would wear. Gives us some idea that there's some of the magic imbued in there. Not for battle, though, because again, it was part of a delegation. So the idea was that one of the younger delegates ended up deciding he was going to stay behind. He wasn't going to go back to Ulasil or anything when they were sealing up the place and all that. And this ends up him being the last recorded spear of the church. Now, there it is. What's interesting is here is that part of the character's sash and stuff, the purple stuff you see wrapped around his waist with the garb, has been ripped off and turned into these arm wrappings. The idea being is that they were so that way you could use a sword. So again, the idea, of course, Ulasil had become a peaceful nation, with the rise of its light sorcery under the god's purview and everything. I mean, obviously, when you have Anor Londo as your being a vassal to, you're obviously not going to be worrying too much with warfare, even against other countries in the world of man. The other point to make about this is, of course, that the person here had never practiced the sword at all. Up until this moment where he decided, okay, he's not used to having calluses or any of that, so he's got to wrap himself in these soft things to help kind of sort of function as protection for his hands as he wields this weapon. Very unusual pick. That's cool. So yeah. Now we will learn that this character is, of course, named Half-Light, but this tells us that, again, another Gertrude posing person. This person seems to have come for the honorable of knights. As a spear of the church, he sort of became a knight, essentially, and he is showing that he feels that he's fulfilled his duty. Now, it's interesting to note how this shrine for the knights, this little thing, has the primordial serpents here, especially since by this point in the Ring City's history, the primordial serpents are not Gusta with they know likey what Gwyn has been doing, besides Frampt, but Frampt's a filthy, stinking traitor. We don't talk about him. Again, pews for worship. Now, what's, of course, especially interesting is we don't see what or if there was any idol or anything here behind this altar. The altar is, of course, a copy-paste from Lothric, so they literally still has the Lothric symbol. Hilariously enough, we actually can also see this faintly in Elden Ring, its version of this altar that it copy-pasted. So again, I guess the Lothric military gets around. Of course, also, naturally, the sword here is not a Silver Knight sword or anything like that. It is a Lothric blade in the same vein. Again, this is a copy-pasted asset. This is not likely to hold any lore implications whatsoever. Again, Lothric is a nation that was founded way, way, way after the Ring City was sealed. And it had so much more going on there. So this I would not pay attention to. Just the fact that, again, it's an altar with a sword, a knight sword on it. Of course, this was a shrine to the knights. And, of course, we have Half-Light here, dead, having apparently feels he fulfilled his duty. Though just because he's dead, as we know, with how time, space, and summoning works, we may not necessarily, we may find him alive earlier in his life before this. But looks like he's satisfied with what he's done, so give him that. We can summon Shira here. One only thing to note about Shira is that she does use Estus. Again, very interesting because, again, as we will point out, she is of course a servant of the gods, and has been around, stuck in a room for seemingly that whole time. So you would assume that she is a medial. And probably a very special medial if she doesn't need to eat. The only other time we see a character who seems to have no justification for not eating while being alone all the time are the dragon characters, namely Yorksha, Orceros, Ocelot, etc. And we can credit this to presumably them being half-dragon. They don't necessarily need to eat. The power of rock sustains them. The only question, of course, is if they have due to disparity, if they have a hunger to eat, and how much that hunger might consume them. See Gaping Dragon in Dark Souls 1. Anyway, I've made my foreshadowing point with her. Let us see how this goes. Whoa. Alright, thing to note about this chamber. Again, we are back in the lower world like we were in Smoldering Lake. Notice the water. So again, much like Smoldering Lake and Ash Lake, we see how water drips down from the rain through all the earth of the crust and eventually comes down to here. Obviously, compared to even Smoldering Lake, where we're already seeing some of these stalactites and stalagmites forming, we're seeing this maximum overdrive here. They are extremely long. At this point, again, Smoldering Lake tells us one point in the history. Here we are in the Dreadkeep in the Ring City, is far into the future. A lot of time has passed in between these two events that we're going through. We can see water is still falling. And note here, lots of human bodies. As we talked about with Karthus, they have not decayed, unlike, say, the skeletons we see in the Common Grave, because they are immersed in water. And the power of water seems to more or less be acting as an anti-time effect that deters decay and rot. So they basically just froze in here. Presumably ice has the similar effect, because again, alternate form of water. Anything else to talk about? Oh, right, the arch trees themselves. Notice how we saw lots of overgrowth and stuff with them in Smoldering Lake. But here we can see how they have petrified, much like so much else in this world. They are now purely stone. Solid rock. Not a bit of disparity in them. This is Midir, where he fell. Really cool to make this area look like the Kill of the First Flame shown in Dark Souls 1 intro. Does it? I mean, Kill of the First Flame had like an open thing. I mean, I kind of get the... I don't know, I get more of like a I get more of an Ash Lake vibe mixed with a Smoldering Lake vibe. Well, what? Alright. I don't think I have a shot of Midir. Yeah, of him just, like, being, like, dead here. So, let's fix that real quick. That way I can tell myself, well, I got it. Don't need to worry in the future. Look at all those bodies. Yeah, there's his tail, right? Okay. Okay, I think that covers it. We got what we came here for. Maybe get a shot of this, because I don't want to... Not without the bonfire in the shot, maybe? Sorry, Midir. We'll do this boss fight shortly. Loki's got to do some work for his website. We'll get a shot of Midir in here, too, just for the good old days. Yeah. Yeah, I like this. I like what I'm seeing. Oh, there we go. Crazy, huh? Alright, I think that's enough. Or rather, where the first flame lit for the first time. Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you really get, when you get down here, you really get the sense of, like, oh yeah, it's like the cavern down there. Because you have to imagine, the first flame was depicted as, like, beneath the arch trees, right? Which we kind of see with Izalith, right? The idea that you can have caverns and stuff beneath even the very arch trees. But the idea is, like, you get an arch tree, you go down, 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 and the first flame appeared in that cavern. Which, again, is one of the greatest mysteries of Dark Souls, is what caused fire to suddenly appear? What caused difference to exist in this universe suddenly? It's an interesting mystery we may never have the answer to. And maybe there isn't an answer. Maybe Miyazaki just said, that's how it be. Alright. It is time. Come on, boyo. I'm surprised there wasn't a laser beam attached to that. Oh, I ran into it without dodge rolling. Whee! I'm a moron. You gonna come back over here? I got my nice little misty fog here, just for you. Come on. There we go. Oh! That was a waste. Ah! Come on. Come on. Come on, press forward a little. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate your business, sir. Oh! Right, you charge. I forgot about that. I honestly don't need that much Ashen Estus for this fight. Look at how much we're chewing through him. There we go. Phase 2. Come on. Oh, okay. I will take that. Come on. Oh! That's what I was afraid of. this was the fight. We did it! And look at those holes! Yay! I'm a greedy Gus. Woohoo! Yeah, unlike Demon Souls or Elden Ring, where a god above all seems to exist, here it feels like the flame is just a natural event triggered by the world's logic and seasons passing. Good, GG, first try, yeah, first try, Midir. And this is why we do the fight this way, because that was freaking painless. I even brought a few short healing flasks than what I would have should have probably used, and I still did it. Woo! Ooh, I love doing this fight this way. Ooh, woohoo! Yay! Alright, let's go back to what we were doing. What we were doing. Oh! I am feeling very good today. Now granted, this would have been a bit more obnoxious on New Game Plus, just because the damage would be so much harder, but still, doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy, considering that I don't have nearly as high of the stats as I did when I last time did this, with Logan's staff and like 60 int. Waifu! Look! Dumping into my vitality stat. It's all going straight to vitality. Yeah! There, as we can see, his soul has been consumed by the dark. Now, again, the series makes a point of how he's a descendant of Archdragon, so he's not one of the originals. We never ever meet an original Archdragon, it seems. All of them appear to be descendants of some of that original generation, which makes sense because we see a lot of variation with the various Archdragons we come across, from Calamite to Midir to the Dragon Zombies to Sin in Dark Souls 2 to all of that. So yeah, here's the point being made. Midir was raised by the gods. And then, because he's an everlasting archdragon, the idea was that, okay, so you'll be able to internally battle the dark. That was his mission seemingly given at the Ring City as a quote-unquote honorary spear of Filianore. And as a result, he continued after that. Now, as we learn, the abyssal dragon, Midir, went to and destroyed the sacred holy tree of the Millwood Knights. Now, the question would be, why would he do that? Well, if he's an abyssal dragon, we can assume that he was, in fact, already corrupted by the abyss at this point, maybe much earlier on. So we can imagine that when he sees a giant tree of the holy element, he would try, like, crashing down and reportedly, like, thrash and try to scratch his back against it like a bear, almost, in a wild frenzy, trying to, you know, get that itch of that abyssal corruption off. And that inadvertently, of course, destroyed the tree and all that. And obviously, the Millwood Knights couldn't do anything no matter how hard they tried to stop the dragon. But again, that sort of gives us a sense, of course, how Millwood, relatively minor player on the stage, obviously, are basically just, their lore is basically an excuse to have big, meaty, gunthy Viking warriors into Dark Souls 3's Snow DLC. But the point is that they end up serving as a huge foreshadowing for Midir, as well as his story and his corruption. As we saw in the middle of the boss fight, because Phase 2 Midir has sort of, we see the dark inside of him flaring up and really starting to consume him at this point, he's able to conjure up the humanity of all the corpses in the lake around us. So therefore, they rouse the humanity to act, kind of similar to Manus. But though, of course, Manus just did that with his own dark sorcery. So it does give us a cool idea of what the dark is capable of, even for someone as new as Midir. He's basically like Sullivan. It's like, I have new powers. I will instantly know how to use them. Sully's like, stagnation? Thanks! You're giving me a second chance, Fate. He absorbed so much darkness that he gained a soul of his own made of it. Yeah, that darkness ended up consuming his own soul and turning into that, right? Yo, Loki. Hey, it's me, James. You missed the Midir fight. First try. Orbeck would be proud. Yeah. You're gonna have to watch that in the VOD. It was a clean fight, let me tell you. Though, honestly, might be like watching paint dry with how, quote-unquote, clean it was. What else do we need? What else do we want? I guess it's gonna be Half-Light now. But first, Midir, I have to talk about your soul for a second.
Aha, thou return.
Yeah, I got your soul. I'm not using it, but I got your soul. Old Moonlit. Now, obviously, the Old Moonlight here is a reference to the Moonlight Greatsword from Kingsfield. It has that, that's the design which is used on the spell itself. So it is, of course, a Kingsfield reference and all that. But, that said, it's more than that. It actually does have a... That meta reference doesn't override the lore significance. So, again, pay attention right here. So, memory of an old sword found deep within Midir. Now, deep here is the same word for deep used in terms like deep psychology. So it's very evocative of this idea that when it's talking about deep within Midir, they're talking about deep within his soul, deep within his mind, deep within his heart, his psychological essence, his emotions, his feelings, his memories, right? That's the point of making it here. Now, out of that memory, Ludlith is able to derive this sorcery. Why? So it grants the form, so it gives the form of the Moonlight Greatsword, and then attacks with it. Comes with light waves, yada yada yada. So again, the idea is it's named after Moonlight, much like the original Moonlight Greatsword, but it's slightly different than the one fashioned of the Pale Drake Sea. So again, unlike White Dragon Seath the White Dragon, this is a different design. As we point out, it's a Kingsfield design that predates Dark Souls. Perhaps it is rooted in an older memory from not long after the beginning. So again, the game is harkening back to this idea of this sword is supposed to be connected to Seath, but it's not the Seath as we knew him in Dark Souls 1, where that sword came from. Because again, recall that Dark Souls 2 basically seems to confirm that sword did in fact exist. It was actually made, much like Calamit's weapons with Calamit's body and stuff like that. But again, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and 3 kind of retcon Dark Souls 1, because instead of doing it with the whole tail cutting mechanic where you cut a tail and miraculously a fully formed sword is in it, it was just a reference to Japanese mythology. They sort of kind of retroactively do it where it's like, you take the body parts and then you make the weapon that way, right? Or otherwise you take the soul of the person, and obviously that essence of them can also be used to derive a similar weapon. However, in this case, while we take Ulceros' soul and derive the regular Moonlight Greatsword from that, in this case, we derive a older sword from earlier in Seath's history, closer to the beginning. Now, if you recall, the opening cinematic talks about the beginning of the Age of Fire, namely the dragon hunts, where the four lords, including the ringed knights, which we'll talk about in a second, and the Seath, who at the end of toward the end of the war, he betrayed his kin. Abyssal Archive will go into more detail on that, and essentially completely finished the conflict early. The part of this, of course, is the idea that, again, Midir was raised by the gods, so Anor Londo. But, again, the gods include Seath, who married into royalty through Guinevere. Again, Abyssal Archive will talk more on that. But you can, of course, see a sample chapter talking about this regarding Seath. If you go to abyssalarchive.com, that's abyssalarchive.com, just subscribe to the newsletter at the bottom of the page. Continuing right along. The idea being is that Seath is implied here to have found Midir, probably as a young pup or something, very nubile, and this is why it's so deep into his psychology, because again, it's a very formative memory of his, right? We're going deep into the earliest points of his consciousness when he's just a new young pup, and these types of memories get buried over time, right? When you're obviously older and wiser, you don't remember most of the stuff when you're like a toddler. The point, of course, being here is that instead of killing Midir like the others, he took this young pup under his wing. Now, knowing Seath, it was probably not out of the goodness of his heart. It was part of his research into dragon scales. Obviously, he wants to have an archdragon specimen with whom he can study in the future and all that. Kind of hard when you practically wipe out all of your kin in that regard. He can't use himself, obviously, for obvious reasons, for his scaleless dilemma. So the idea then is that Midir gets brought in. Now, this, of course, brings the question, wait a second, but he's also friends with Shira, so does Shira have some connection to Seath that allowed her to become such good buddies with Midir that she doesn't even really treat him with the same disdain for dragons as other medials and gods of Anor Londo? Very interesting. Oh, nice, I had a pretty rough day, Lamau. Glad I was able to catch the stream, though. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, James. Well, you know what? Get comfy. enjoy the stream here, because, you know, we still got plenty of content to go. I'm not quite done quite yet. Alrighty. Let's see now. Anything else to talk about with this? No, I think that pretty much covers it. So, again, note how the points are getting here. Shira is good friends with Midir. Midir seems to have been adopted by Seath very early on, though adopted might be too generous a word for it. But the idea is, again, like we talked about before, Anor Londo took in archdragons. Like, say, the two archdragon zombies we see in the game were likely both originally from Anor Londo, one in the Painting World, one in the Valley of Drakes, with the other lightning wyverns and things like that. Again, Abyssal Archive will talk about that in more detail. And then, so would it be odd for Seath to do this and get away with it? Like, no one's going to bat an eye if they say, oh, you want to collect a specimen for, like, that research you want to do, now that you're getting all the accolades from Gwyn and all that. So, that's reasonable. And then there's also the sword, right? Where is it? The frayed blade. Is it up here? There we go. Now, frayed blade. Frayed blade's now the opposite. So if the old moonlight is a sorcery derived from the memories and is a psychological aspect of Midir, the frayed blade's the opposite. It deals with his physical and bodily aspect of his body. So again, both aspects of the soul, the physical and the non-physical. The point here is, of course, is that obviously Midir was corrupted, so naturally this sword, a katana, which again makes a point of how it's, of course, by itself, that's an unusual blade already. But the idea that, of course, it's almost like unraveling it, at the seams itself, and so it's coming apart in the same way that Midir was coming apart due to the corruption of the Abyss. We will, however, see this blade very shortly used in another context. Now, as for the Ring City and the Ring Knights, we talked about how this is building upon, this is basically just Miyazaki and co. Giving lots of fan service to Dark Souls 1 by expanding on a lot of the stuff that are implied in the original game, which Abyssal Archive will cover more. Where are the shields? Alright, I put them away. So we'll look at those right now. Alright, we gotta put things back. Don't want to catch myself going against Half-Light with no pyromancy now. No, sir. I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, I need my, yeah, like, I need this. Actually, I don't think, you know what, I'm gonna need it later for when, like, I farm or something, so might as well have it on now. You never know when you might need a cast light spell. Yeah, okay, we're good. Alright, now we can get the shields. And there they are. So again, the point here is that, again, much like the gods, the Ring Knights seem to have cut off the heads of archdragons as trophies. Again, recall how Gwyn handed the pygmy a crown in that statue depiction. So again, Abyssal Archive touches on this as well, but the idea of crowns themselves seem to be unique to the medials of Anor Londo and humans. So again, this idea that so much of human culture and society has originated by the gods. The gods very much propped up man at the same time as trying to suppress and keep them down. And their influence has sort of permeated so many facets of human culture that even the concept of a crown, just putting this big pointy thing on your head, yeah, that makes sense, because again, Gwyn did that, and Gwyn did it to represent sunlight. Each of those points was showing the rays of the sun and all that. That was the idea of Anor Londo, and it passed on to the pygmies, and then to all their descendants, the humans, who spread across the world of man afterwards, and ultimately forgot about their origins, because again, man is fickle when they're shackled with mortality. But again, the idea here is that Gwyn helped, and Anor Londo helped build up the society, and then when they called for them, the Ring Knights and again the Ring City answered, essentially sending their knights to help. Again with the Pygmy Lord presumably at the helm, helped go and fight and defeat the dragons. But again, as we can see here, their contributions were never lauded. Obviously, the opening cinematic in Dark Souls 1 never focuses on them, and of course, Dark Souls 1's entire point is how much of the pygmy and human history has been scrubbed by the gods of Anor Londo. They wanted their help, and once they got what they needed, they were just going to slowly squeeze them out until they basically fell into irrelevance. Never rocking the boat too hard, never letting the kettle overboil. Just slowly, gradually, just squeeze them like a frog in a slow boiling pot, and they wouldn't even realize it. Unfortunately for Gwyn and the gods, though, they didn't expect the undead curse. They thought their seal of fire was all they needed. They didn't expect that it would backfire on them in the worst way possible. But again, Abyssal Archive, we'll talk about that in more detail. So we shall now focus more. Although honestly, I am considering when the digital version for Abyssal Archive comes out, possibly in a few weeks, maybe doing streams for Dark Souls 1, and we could do a Dark Souls 1 lore through just like we did here. Just a thought. And that way, it's not going to just be Elden Ring, Elden Ring, Elden Ring, Elden Ring consistently. We can kind of intersplice that with some Dark Souls 1, maybe like every other day or whatever. Maybe whenever I feel like it, right? So, the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. Yes, true. That is exactly it. Again, the Japanese for that is the Pygmy of the Shadows, who no one knows about. Again, a huge emphasis there on how much has been scrubbed. Now let me think. We just have to talk to Shira about Midir first, so we'll do that. This is where having a sorcery that can have me be a little less visible is useful. Oh. Now, like I said, I'm a greedy Gus. So let's see how much I can get. How much can I get? How many souls can I get from you, my friend? Oh. Oh. I messed up my setup. I have the wrong stuff on the wrong hand. Whoopsie. Pay no attention to the weird man wearing a helmet of a giant chest on his head. Oh, right. Ah! That was close. That was close. Okay, let's do this. And fix this. Fix this travesty of justice. It's nothing. It's nothing. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. There we go. Oh. Right! Pyromancy does more damage to you. Get out here, you monkey. There we go. Miyazaki saw this and said, I want these kind of jumpy guys in Sekiro. Now, is anyone going to come up here? Or are you guys going to be good little boys and girls? I will not. I doubt it. Just gotta be Okay, you're gonna stop here. Good. Let us now talk to waifu.
My most humble thanks. 'Tis thanks to thee the dragon erred not from his vows.
Oh, you just know he's
Please,
dead. Man, that's
take
Skype call,
this.
huh?
A final gift of thanks.
Yeah, just slide under the door. Okay, how do you fit that under a door? I call hacks. You using some time-space magic to, like, miniaturize this thing. Am I getting screwed?
Now, as the fire
Oh,
waneth,
whoops.
does she lie by the
Yeah,
dark?
yeah. All for the sake of, yeah, okay, never mind then. Wait. You got anything else to say to me?
My humblest now, as the
Yeah, okay. Don't disturb her, blah, 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 blah. Does this change anything for you?
my humblest now, as
No, we need to actually go there. Oh, that was early. Mistakes were made! Alright, understandable. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We'll be right back after some important messages. Namely, me committing to the cult. 6K from these guys. Holy. Actually, no, she leveled adaptability. She leveled Dex. Just skillfully push it through. She's the mom who somehow crams all that crap at the bow. All right, we can't do that from here. We gotta just warp it. Damn, that sucks. Darn it, I went the wrong way. I was supposed to go the other way. I forgot. Anyway, yeah, she's like the mom who crams all the boxes in the car, and it's like perfect. It's like somehow it'll fit just magically. Doesn't try to do any math or trigonometry or calculus or some crap. It's just plain old mom logic. Controller? 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 You okay? You okay there, bud? Yeah, there we go. Controller just decided, no, I'm tired. Not gonna work right now. God, how many souls is Big Boy gonna get us? That I gotta see. I'm gonna say this, if I do a Dark Souls 1 lore through, that one's gonna be rough adjusting to, because I'm so used to how fast Black Knight Sword is here, that I think even if I do like a New Game Plus run or something like that, I have to decide, it's gonna be weird with how slow that game is in comparison. Not saying that's bad, just saying it's gonna be weird to adjust. Hey, buddy. I see you hate that seal of fire put on you. Let me help with that, with some more fire. More fire. More fire. $26! And still not as much as a Gertrude Knight. Feels bad, man! Sure. Yeah. Right. Alliance deepened. Whoa. Am I a spear of the church quite yet? Okay, buddy. Now, Shira basically just says, oh, you're a spear. I'm so glad, wonderful, happy, great. And eventually become like a divine spear or whatever. Or the Japanese puts it as basically a holy spear. So essentially the same thing. Point is, of course, is that obviously... let's change this. Obviously, everything that we're... yeah. Basically, everything that we're doing here is as Anor Londo wants. As you can see, the statues to the Ring Knights here are all broken. Perhaps giving you an idea of Anor Londo, at least thematically, narratively, showing its true colors. Oh, I can't do that because I'm already there. Okay. Alright, let's do Half-Light. Let's do Half-Light. Yeah. Yep, let's do Half-Light. Windy today? Oh! That's sweet. They didn't have to do that. Oh, and he has the lady's, he bought her, thing. Or does he always have that as Lap? I actually don't know. I don't think I've ever killed Lap. Or at least I haven't killed him in any significant way. But yeah, he's got the curse shield because he's concerned about going away, and he's got one of these, the Far Easterner, halberd things. Yeah, that makes sense. How sweet. Sorry, Patches. I appreciate it, but no. Again, see the Ring Knight statues. All must bend the knee to the gods. Here we have Argo, continuing the references to Hawkeye Goth, who is, again, Japanese pronounced Go. You have to have a Go reference somewhere. Yeah. Sure.
Divine spear of yore, sworn defender of our princess Filianore. Hearken to the call that summons thee. Make haste.
Sure. You do that. Ah, darn. I can't do it before. Okay. So let's focus here. As we can see, I talked before about Gwendolyn's influence here. We see how there are painting guardians using their painting guardian things. Acting as spears of the church in this case. On behalf of Gwendolyn, obviously. Oh. Oh, Half-Light's coming. Oh. Now, Half-Light himself, of course, wears the uniform we expect as that delegate we talked about. Oh. I think the Painting Guardian uses Filianore's Chime here, but someone can confirm for me. Also uses Guinevere's Healing Miracle, if I recall. Oh. Okay, that's fine. Argo kind of just up and dies. I don't know if canonically we're supposed to believe that we kill him, even if we don't try to. But again, that would be similar to other boss fights where everyone dies the moment we kill the guy with the health bar, regardless of logic. As we can see here, our friend here is using magic with the spears and stuff like that to commit great power. He's got a basic shield, a generic shield, although it has a very fancy crest on it. It's one of the most basic shields you can get in the game. Gives it the idea that, again, either he made this or he found this or what have you. It's, again, clear he's not someone with a history of being a fighter. At the same time, he's also got, besides getting this special Spear of the Church magic, he's also got the Frayed Blade. Now again, you get this from Midir's soul, but the general concept, of course, is it's a katana that's corrupted by the Abyss and therefore falling apart. Not even necessarily katana, you could argue. It could be any sword with how damaged it is. Whoop. So the idea would be that, again, much like how he seems to have gotten a white tree bow, presumably made from the white trees, either his own sorcery staff or the one of the tree we see outside by the Abyss, I would say that is more likely. He probably also got his sword from the Abyss that is out there where the tree is. As a result, it makes sense this is how he decides he's going to make his way as a warrior. Alright, I think that's enough playing around. Wait. Yeah, now we can. Yeah, okay, we can. Let's see how pyromancy does against you. Oh. Phase 2! So again, more painting guardians coming in. Let's get you in the shot. Wait. Oh my god, lock on. Ow. Ow. Why'd you do that? Oh, right. I don't have infinite FP. This isn't my sorcery. Yeah, come on. Keep going. Yeah, keep trying to hit me. Oh. Ow. Hey, Loki. Hey, Eric. You missed the Midir fight. It was a first try, legit. I am so proud of myself for cheesing him so hard. You done there? Just don't mind me while I do this in advance. And there goes Half-Light. Well, don't worry, mate. We know you don't... Now, he doesn't appear as a spirit, neither does the Painting Guardian, but as we see, Half-Light doesn't die here, he dies over there. So whether he turns undead, which again, he presumably has to be undead to be doing all this, and doesn't manages to not go hollow or whatever, or other stuff is happening where it's kind of like an actual summon, they just don't make it look that way because it would look dumb for a boss fight. But whatever the case, here we are with another boss down. As we can see, the Filianore's church has quite overgrown. Been kind of left this way. Again, notice the Anor Londo architecture being copy-pasted here. Again, we see here how, again, similar to what we see with the banner, the idea that we can use these that which hung from their quote-unquote ceremonial spears. They didn't actually use these spears, but these hung from said spears, and so they can use the light magic power imbued in them, the sunlight power, to essentially create those line of illusionary spears that go forward. Again, using light's power to manipulate the power of sunlight's power over light to manipulate space and create these illusions. As for this piece, again, a fragment of one of those ceremonial spears. Yeah, nothing special here. And yeah, okay. Waifu.
Well, it's very
Yes, yes, yes. More vitality. Slowly but surely. Actually, I'm almost there, aren't I? Yeah, I'm almost there, honestly, without the staff. It's just gonna take a while to get it so I can work it with the staff. But honestly, again, it's only needed for bosses, and that just requires me to be smart with, or when I'm farming, and that just requires me to be smart with what I do all my stuff for farming and all that, so that's not the biggest deal. Since someone mentioned it earlier, let's buy,
Speak.
yeah, lordship and all that. Yeah, great. I'm your king, so go. Why do I have to buy these from you if I'm your king?
Be safe, our lord and liege.
Like, I get you're a hollow and all, but you really need the souls. Like, aren't you, like, the head of a church? Don't you, like, get souls for tithes or something from the hollows there? Yeah. Look at that sexy chest. That will disappear as soon as I die. 1K? Okay, we don't want to talk about Shira or anything, so let's just go with Filianore. Let's just advance the time. Are you gonna kill Grandpa today? I might, but it depends, it really depends. It depends on how I feel like after doing the Shira thing, because, I kind of don't want to just end on Soul of Cinder. So I think it'd be cool if we do, Grandpa Gale, and then, Painter, obviously finish her thing off, and then do Soul of Cinder. So that might be next stream, and this stream we'll just do Shira. Because we've done a lot of Shira already, and I don't want to split this up too, like we've had to do with some other streams. Midir is no more. Now again, we're at the tower. Again, as we established earlier, I talked about how I think this is a lift or teleporter building to get you to the throne room. Hence why there are statues of Gwendolyn, and why it is given such an isolated spot for you to access, and is so prominent even in artwork. Because again, this is the target. You want to go there to get to the Pygmy Lords in the throne room, but you can't do that, so you have to go through Filianore, through the, as the Pygmy King over there called it, to this cesspool. Again, buildings. Yeah, nothing to tell you here. There's the mausoleum. There's our good old friend, the Pygmy, the furtive Pygmy's grave. Jutting out there in all its phallic glory. There's the Faron reused assets. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah. Let's do Filianore. Again, and Orlando imagery used here. Can't really see it on this angle, unfortunately. And we'll go here. Again, notice the overgrowth, though very scenic in this case. There is our princess, wearing her silver crown, sleeping like a baby on her little chair bed. Very similar to her sister, actually, Guinevere, to be honest. Kind of just lay down, as it were. Again, more in Orlando architecture, recopied. So as we can see, Filianore has black hair. This is interesting because we actually see something similar with Gwyn's firstborn. If you check it, he has gray hair, but if you look closely, you can see that the gray hair has streaks of black in it. Now, Guinevere has brown hair, but it's never clarified whether this comes from the mother or the father side of the family, because obviously Gwyn has gray hair. So, as soon as we see him. Like, Gwyn's an old man from the moment he starts the dragon hunts, and he's an old man when the dragon hunt, he links the first flame. I'm just saying, medial lifespans are whack. They live forever. Another reason why the gods all being dead right now is very suspicious. Anyway. The point I'm making here is it's interesting that black hair seems to be the shtick with this family. Outside of Guinevere. And it makes you wonder, is Gwyn the one with brown hair, and maybe his wife, the queen, is the one with the black hair, and it came from there? Because the only other god who we hear with black hair is, of course, Velka. Now, I'm not saying that Velka is Gwyn's wife. It's very clear from the depictions we see in Dark Souls 1 and all that, and just the way the timeline history works out, that doesn't really jive. Because you essentially got especially, yeah, there's just a lot wrong going there. However, it would be interesting considering how much influence Velka has over the gods, even ignoring just the fact that she's useful as a resident dark expert. The fact that for all the trouble she causes between Priscilla, with Seath and all that, and of course later on with Lloyd and stuff, it's just rather interesting how she's been able to skirt by a lot of stuff. And it really makes you wonder if Gwyn's wife was Velka's sister or something to that effect. And that allowed her to essentially kind of have a lot of immunity, as it were. Just an interesting food for thought. I feel that Velka connection coming. Eric saw that. Yeah. This is something I don't think we'll ever be able to confirm. Especially if this ends up being truly the last game in the entire series. God, I hope so. For my sanity's sake, if nothing else. I don't want to be writing Dark Souls forever, but yeah. Very interesting. Now, notice how her eyes have dark growths growing under them? This is presumably because she has spent so long sleeping. She is alive, however, she has had her eyes closed. Now, as you know, when you close your eyes, what do you see? Dark. So again, that little sliver of dark beneath the eyelids, over her eyes, seems to have growing on its own while she's been slumbering here like Sleeping Beauty. A nice attention to detail. And of course, there is the ever so elusive and mysterious egg. Some have connected it to the wandering spirits from Dark Souls 1, which again, they do get their dress down in Abyssal Archive. So again, buy your copy of the 2 volumes now. As we can see, there is there's a bit of a mineral innards to this egg, so it isn't like all soft or anything like that. It does have some mineral element to it, though it isn't immediately obvious what that is. It's a bit dark in color, so it could be a dark crystallization that is forming, again, connecting it back to the those wandering spirits from the first game. That, again, the implication for them was that they were spawns of humanity, and they sort of connected that into, like, collecting items and things like that, and going, like, across time and space with the whole other worlds mechanic and things of that nature. But there is, in fact, in concept art, the transposing kiln graphic, or something close to it, was essentially copy-pasted in there to create that swirl. Now, it's not obvious here in the final game that that's what is happening here. You don't really get a sense that there's a crystal lizard hide stitched together on the inside of this egg. It would also be rather nonsensical for, again, a creation of Seath, the crystal lizards, to be inside this egg for seemingly no reason. But again, it's quite possible that this egg is simply a product of the dark, similar to red eye orbs or things of that nature. And again, we can see kind of the dark black gem at the very core of it. So again, goes with this mineralization element. The idea that this may be some kind of dark vessel being used as a catalyst for this sleep magic. Because again, dark is closer on the spectrum to death, and death is of course closely related to sleep, because death is essentially the ultimate repose, right? It's your final repose, the eternal sleep. And so there is this idea that sleep magic, as we see with Filianore's spear, has that purple hue similar to dark magic that we see so often. So it's quite possible here that Filianore had some sort of dark creation. Again, red eye orbs don't exist yet because New Londo hasn't rebelled and started inventing them with the dark race as of yet. We could be seeing something similar to that in the Wandering Spirits type of deal. That is, of course, mineralized in the center for one reason or another. As we can see, it kind of looks like it's spilling out, so maybe it's a case of the stagnation or some other factor. And the ultimate point that I'm trying to make here is that using the dark magic combined with her sunlight element and things like that, with greenery and nature, and of course just the nature of sunlight with its power over time and things like that, she has essentially put the Ring City in a sort of time bubble similar to what we experience in Lordran and Drangleic and Lothric throughout these games. Only this time the time bubble doesn't mean where time gets all weedy wonkety with the flow and the stagnation, but rather the entire land itself simply has stagnated. It has been essentially this entire area has essentially been made an exception to what's going on outside of it, in terms of, obviously we can see with the dark and stuff is still creeping in and all that. That hasn't changed. But the dreg heap and everything that's going on outside, it's not part of that. It's at the bottom here. In fact, it may be why the dreg heap is converging at the world's end, because that's the last part that needs to be dragged in, and it's obviously not being dragged in. So they end up kind of all just sinking to the bottom around it instead. So again, that's my shower thoughts on Filianore here. I think that more or less covers it. Again, using the dark to help create a kind of special sleep magic combined with her light sunlight affinity in order to create this special time bubble freezing thing. Essentially, she dreams that forever dreams through her sleep that the world is okay, and therefore it is, right? Now, obviously, it's not perfect, because again, there's only so much that dreams and miracles can face up to reality, and in the end, all must eventually wake up from their dreams. So that is what we shall be doing here. Now, the idea, of course, being is that Filianore will wake up, and then everything will snap back, and we will see the consequences to that post-haste. There's the shell. Again, see the gem at the core. Got kind of that rocky texture here, how it spills out and things like that. Almost has that viscous look to it. There we go. Okay, let's get this party started. This time, since there's not going to be any cutscene, we're going to do this where I feel satisfied. There we go. Much better. Now we're kind of like, what's this? Oh. Yeah, it's kind of been sitting here for a long time. It's a little fragile. And the power has been used, obviously. So with the mineralization and all that, it's obviously just gonna fall apart as nothing. But as we can see, we have disturbed the princess's slumber. Again, notice all the growths beneath the skin from the eyes and under the eyelids, because again, she's had her eyes shut all this time. And the dark, she's been essentially shut like that for a very long time with the dark. And she doesn't have death as an excuse. Now again, we see how the vessel lights up along with her. Everything that they've created. Has now been snapped back to reality as it should be. Oh, look at that. We've got another bot. As we can see, we've seen how Filianore has essentially aged herself over. I will talk a bit about that in a second, because I have opinions. But as we can see, we are now to how things were in the cinematic originally. Nothing there. Now, of course, because this is a game, we can just travel back to Ring City, no problem. The game just pretends none of this is happening here. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, good. We got rid of the bot. Got rid of the nasty bot. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is just her aging, or if this is perhaps a cost to her magic. Because it's a bit weird, especially considering that the firstborn, who's older than her, is still alive. And Guinevere, again, who's older than her, is still alive. That she just kind of dies. Though then again, it may not just be because of this. It may also be from the fact that she hasn't eaten or drank anything while being asleep. And so, essentially, her personal health is also showing. And since she's basically gone thousands of years without any of that, boom. And perhaps the only reason she's not, like, just a skeleton here may be because either A, it snaps all at once right now, or B, because because of course her sunlight affinity gives her a lot of vitality, you could say, vigor, and that vigorous body of hers doesn't rot as seriously because of her sunlight affinity. Because again, we don't ever see what actual corpses of the gods look like, so that's quite possible. There we go, solve that problem. Now again, notice the tower I mentioned, and over here is the throne room. Now, I've toyed with the idea of this being the throne room itself, but I just don't think so. I just don't think you can justify the different architecture used here surrounding the thrones. Papa? Oh no, Eric is making this dark. No. If she actually said that, that would be amazing, but no. Okay, as we can see, one of the pygmy lords, the kings, trying to crawl his way over to Filianore, or begging her for help. Because while we were going through Hugadiwa, Gale got to work, going after those kings in their throne room, now that they are no longer fully protected by their city and the gods. We also see a ring knight who's over there somewhere. He's around still. We can, of course, see in the background Lothric and Anor Londo. Now, of course, we see Lothric kind of jammed and randomly put together in the Dragkeep. So even if you interpret all the other pieces of the background as different cities and stuff and countries, it's still a bit weird to see this place here in full. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if this is simply because Miyazaki's trying to deliver on the promise of the opening cinematic of this shot. Because obviously they couldn't get that done for the final game. They ended up just with like a mini Dragkeep for the final moments, and they ended up having to shelve everything else for DLC. So again, I would not be surprised if this is just for the shot, for the artistic value. Look at that JPEG of Anor Londo. God, it's ugly. God, these games are never meant to be looked at closely, huh? But again, this is the throne room. If I recall correctly, there's about 8 thrones, potentially up to 16, because we don't see any more thrones on the other half of the semicircle, but it's possible they do exist. So that's a thing. Or is it 8 or like 10? Or I can't remember. It's like 8, 10, 12, maybe something. But anyway, there's a lot. Let us now head this way. More Ring City. Now, this is not Shira's building. This seems to be a separate building, but it is one where Shira decides she's going to mess with us. Now, let's mess with her instead. Before I do anything. Slumber. And lingering. Oh, right.
I've searched for thee, dark-stricken creature. I am Shira, daughter of the Duke, descendant of gods, and trusted friend to Midir. At once, I am the honor of the gods, the glory of fire, and the fear of the dark. Thou shalt not go unpunished for thy treachery, thy profanity, and thy shameless yearning.
I can't believe you can see me until the dialogue ends, at which point you can't. Yay for game mechanics. So again, Shira essentially, obviously, she sees what happened, and she's like, oh, the one person who's actually been able to do shit recently, he must have done something. And so she comes hunting for us. And, well, she found us. She understands it. We are aligned with the dark, apparently, through our choices. At least that's her insinuation. And that is how it should be. Now, as we hear, she talks about how she's a descendant of the gods, or a god, doesn't really matter who, either way. Again, she's obviously a descendant of the gods, as we established earlier, by being a knight of, knight serving Anor Londo and the princess specifically. But she talks about how she's daughter of a duke, and we only know one duke in Anor Londo, and that's Seath. So it's like, oh, this is Seath's kid. Which you'd be like, wait a second, I thought Priscilla was Seath's kid. Yes, but Priscilla was Seath's kid with Velka. That was an extramarital affair. That was likely just Seath using Velka in order to get some access to pick her brain, but, you know, that'll be talked about in the Abyssal Archive. Instead, what we should focus on here is the fact that, again, brown hair, like Guinevere, thematic clothing being silver and green, like Seath and Guinevere, green and gold, silver and white. We see that her helmet has a, as it's called in the English, a man-eater shell pearl, though the Japanese is more accurately... Oh! Yeah, good. A 5-legged bival. We also saw she just shot us with a common miracle of... Not happy with me, huh? A common miracle of the... Of female knights. There are very few of them among the Silver Knights and the like, obviously, so instead of... And because the idea is that women are generally physically weaker than men, the idea is that instead of having to worry about meeting an arbitrary steering requirement in order to wield those big, heavy Dragon Slayer great bows and arrows, instead, they can just learn a miracle that can accomplish the same thing through the power of lightning. So, Anorlando, egalitarian. You let your AI break there. But again, she has a, her crown, of course, has the 5-legged bival pearl in her crown. Of course, Seath, of course, collected those as part of his research into mineralization. So it makes sense that he might have them create a regular pearl as for Daddy's little princess. Come on, girl, we're at the end of the world. Get over it. Yeah. She won't, though. So again, what we're seeing here is essentially Seath's daughter with Guinevere. Apparently, there must have been something to that relationship beyond pain. Though don't tell Shira, her parents are kind of separated right now. By quite a few thousand years, in fact, at this point. We also see, I think, if I recall correctly, this is Filianore's chime she uses in her other hand. Or is that her own unique chime? No, I'm pretty sure it's Filianore's. Yeah, pretty sure it's Filianore's. And then, as we see here in her other hand, we'll talk about that shortly. But, again, suffice to say, we are seeing Seath's daughter. So, I am quite happy. This also explains, again, the connection between Seath and Midir and then Shira. As naturally being Seath's daughter, she would be very close to Seath's specimen / adopted son. And so she could be friends with him. And so they can kind of have this sibling, friend, master-servant bond, even going off to the Ring City. Now, we talked earlier about the Aquamarine Dagger, and how it seemed it was a blade infused with crystal magic that was given to, someone for a long journey, and the idea was that it was from someone very long time ago, because they wrote in an old language, essentially a saying that's saying, hey, I wish you well, this is I want you to do, like, basically a protection charm that you do when you're saying bye to someone you care about. Very likely this dagger was, as we talked about, Seath, again, crystal magic, old language, all that fits, and that this dagger was given to Shira when she departed for the Ring City with Midir. The idea being, of course, is that while she's fulfilling her duty as a knight, Daddy seems to have actually cared about someone in his life, legitimately, and wanted his little princess to be safe while she was gone, and so she did. Clearly, Shira leaving home did not do well, did not help with Seath's mental health. Maybe she shouldn't have left. Just saying, she might have saved a marriage. And again, the idea of why the Aquamarine Dagger is all the way up in the Lothric Ruins, we can imagine that since Shira is locked away in not her room, but seemingly a chamber for the knights, as we will see shortly, the idea that someone might have gone to her actual room somewhere in, the Ring City, tipped the blade, because again, what's she gonna need that? She has the spear, she has a cross spear and stuff, so she doesn't really need a dagger, even if Daddy means well. And she obviously got here fine, so again, well wishes and all that, no need to worry. The point being, of course, is that... Yes, I get it. The point being, of course, is that it's very easy to imagine someone took it, and then much like what we see with Herald Knights and stuff, that they made it all the way back, but as we finally see, the crumbling architecture of the Dreadkeep ultimately collapsed and killed the person. So, hey, I guess, karma, bitch. Don't steal. That's the moral. Now, Let us kill her. Wow, you missed. Dang it, I forgot. You have Estus. This is obnoxious now. Yeah, I keep doing that. I got more where that came from. Okay, you can't have that much on the Estus. Or you can. You'll run out eventually. I broke your AI, so you're not even gonna try charging me. Oh, now you're gonna... Nope. Nope, still stuck in place thinking she's a freaking lightning wizard. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Run out of Estus, girl. Oh. Give me that. How's it feel being my farm, Shira? I killed your dad, by the way. Just thought you should know. And I'm gonna kill your half-siblings, too. Evil Ashen One! Come on, girl, we're at the end of the world. Yeah, we're still there. So, yeah. That is the end of Cease Lineage. Oh, well. Moving on. Again, I'm not sure I'm quite feeling Gale, so... But I am feeling the Crucifix. Now, again, we see here the idea that once a Mad King was born to the Pygmy royalty, it should be noticed that the term being used here is basically mean to being born is not necessarily to being physically born, like, you know, like a mother and stuff. It can be the idea of being born in the same way, like, weapons are born from the souls when we do transposition, right? Sort of in a more abstract sense, the idea is that God, you are still crawling, man. That is some determination, my buddy. Anyway, the point being here is that... Ooh, where is it? Where is the weapon? There we go. The idea being is that, it seems, again, the idea is that one of the Pygmy Kings was, went mad in the sake of this. Now, madness, of course, has two connotations in Dark Souls. There's the legitimate mad, haha, hoo-hoo, I'm crazy, I've lost all rationality. And there's the, I'm just immoral. Because, again, when you're immoral, like you're, say, a serial killer, we like to think, oh god, that guy's crazy, because we can't comprehend a serial killer's logic. But again, the serial killer is very methodical, he knows what he's doing, he's acting in ways that are perfectly logical, he's clearly not completely detached from reality. He's just someone who doesn't follow the same moral code, if any, from us. So again, the idea that a Pygmy King might be quote-unquote suddenly mad, wouldn't be a stretch considering we're dealing with a sake where the gods are incredibly paranoid about a new Lord of Dark rising up, and the ones who are most likely to do that, the direct descendants of the Pygmy Lord, are essentially, like, say one of them just goes, hey, looks like your time as the gods is over, hey, but everyone, let's go and, overthrow the gods and start our Age of Man. And then, obviously, you have Shira here, being like, not so fast, bitch, and comes and impales him through on her spear. Now, unfortunately for her, however, again, he doesn't seem to have died. It seems he suffered the undead curse, and apparently it was particularly bad, because even now... oh, there we go. Even now that he's, obviously so much bigger on this spear for, a pygmy or a human, but we'll just forget about that. The idea, of course, being is that even so, with everything that's happened, again, notice the similar growths we see on Ring Knight weapons and stuff. These little horn things and stuff that are coming out. Again, signs of dark corruption and emergence. The idea being is that even with he's impaled on the spear, he is still alive and still able to act. As we can see, even as bones, this continues. Not happy, are you, boyo? Yep. So even as we see his body and everything rot to nothing, even when he's just the bones, he is still continuing to exist through the power of the dark. again, it seems that his undeath, immortality, etc., is far more resilient than we see with most undead. We can probably credit this to the fact that, again, they have the largest concentration of the Dark Soul of any with humanity. And so their humanity, this Pygmy King's humanity is so strong that when he turns undead, he's truly undead. There seems to be no fully killing him. So Shira has a bit of a dilemma. She's got this Mad King who, as we can see, can perform hexes and things like that can cause lots of trouble, and there's really no easy way to dispose of him in this situation. And obviously, she's making a scene in front of the other lords, which is not looking good as far as propaganda is concerned, no matter how grotesque. You don't want the other lords suddenly going, hey, maybe that guy has a point, if he's not, even this doesn't kill him. Something to consider. Although, wait, it's called a cross spear, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, it's called a cross spear, but it looks more like a halberd than a spear to me. Yeah, that looks more like a halberd. Whatever. Anyway, I guess Shira liked hers especially special. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. Ah, dang, I need more stamina. The point, of course, being here is that our Pygmy Lord basically had Shira going, okay, I have only one option. So she locks herself in the room with where the knights would normally stay or whatever, and basically just hides in here with this guy until the situation outside is resolved. Again, see the dark power being used here. Boom. Boyo's not amused. Now, if I recall correctly, it's 3 different effects. I think one of them is just him screaming. Yeah, into the ground to briefly awaken it, and then the strong attack will trigger a roar, a blessing, or essentially a curse. So he's got this dark thing going. Can we get the blessing? No luck.
Filianore, help me, please. The Red Hood is come to eat us.
Obviously, Gale.
Eat our dark soul.
That's a lot of blood you're leaking, my mate. A little bit dry, though, I see. Kind of more like spatterings of blood. As we can see, his neck has been completely cut open. We see how he does seem to still be alive despite that. Again, Dark Soul is very powerful, and we don't even know if these these may be the same pygmies from way back when. We don't really know for sure because we don't know if they're undead. But again, something to consider as a factor. Again, same clothes as the Pygmy King we see up top, except he's of course one of the traitorous kings who seems to have gotten buried but didn't quite die. Again, notice the crown, again, pointed crown, much like what we see in the Gwyn statue, except these, of course, have holes representing the dark hole of the power they have. You could also argue it represents the dark sign, which they serve at this juncture. Anyway, let us go back. Now that Shira is dead, we shall go back to her chamber. Again, like I said, this is probably not canon, but c'est la vie. Oh yeah, before I forget, obviously, much like what we see in the cinematic, this all is ash. This is the fate that Gwyn has brought to the world, for everything to become ash. The proper ending to the, this is why I am doubtful there could ever truly be sequels, unless, like, Dark Souls literally, like, jumps the shark and says, no, we will create a type of time travel that isn't just a completed time loop that allows you to somehow, completely reverse all this damage or whatever we do and recreate the world or something. I mean, it's possible. You never know, right? Money, money, money. If they want that new Dark Souls game. Though, honestly, if there's a new Dark Souls game, I would rather have a prequel. And honestly, disconnect it from the Age of Fire, Age of Dark plotline. Like, give me, like, just give me, like, country set during different like, another period. Similar, like, make it, like, a smaller scale story like Bloodborne or something. Something that doesn't, like, shake the foundations of the world, but is still an interesting narrative about the world of Dark Souls. Because let's be honest, we don't really care for the Age of Fire, Age of Dark plot or whatever. Like, sure, narratively and thematically and yada, yada, yada. But I think most people, especially those in the lore community who actually care about the story, would just be like, can we just get, like, more stuff in this world, right? Can we just, like, see more world building happen? Maybe hone in on certain countries and stuff. Church of Filianore, Dark Eater Midir, Medea, Ring City Streets. I think going from here will be fine, right? Yeah. Whew. Yeah, let's make this. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to use you, my friend. I'm sure you're perfectly swelled. But, no. You know what? I haven't actually looked a lot at the lore text for this playthrough, have I? Maybe it's worth going through and seeing if I'm forgetting anything important to mention. I think I mentioned most of the stuff, though, in other streams when it came up. Oh. Now again, we come back, and this seems to be, again, another example of quest reward, where the doors have been opened for us so we can go inside. Again, no logic reel to this. As we can see, though, we get an idea of the room. More Silver Knight statues, these with special drapings to honor them. Fancy chairs. Again, this seems to be a rest and meeting room for the knights. Again, we can see a statue representing Shira, again in the Gertrude pose with smile, again showing her content. She is content. Serving as a knight, fulfilling her honor, much like Half-Light. Again, we see the pearl. Here, the point being made here is how she wears equipment appropriate for both a handmaiden of the princess and someone who, of course, descends from the royalty. Again, as a descendant of, as Guinevere's daughter, she, of course, naturally has, she's naturally a royal. And that means that, okay, here's where we get funny on this is where we, the whole, family tree gets funny. So Guinevere is the mother of Shira. Her dad is Seath. Oh god, how do I put this? So Filianore is the aunt to Shira. So she's coming here as a good niece defending her aunt, right? But oh, I hate this. So Gwyn, father of Guinevere, who is mother of Shira. Her father is Seath, who has relations with Velka to produce Priscilla, who has relations with Gwyn to produce Gwyndolin. This makes it where Shira, or rather we should say Gwyndolin, is both Shira's nephew and uncle simultaneously. Stew on that for a second. Yeah. Oh boy. Gwyn really screwed up that family tree. Oh boy. Give me those souls. Oh, come on. Well, mission failed. We'll get him next time. Harem of the Gwyn. God, I almost wish Gwyn had a harem. At the very least, it might justify what he did to Priscilla. Not really, but still. God, what a bad dude. I'm glad he's dead. We'll kill him again next stream. Yeah, so next stream we're gonna do Gale and then Soul of Cinder. Actually no, because it's gonna be Gale, Twin Princes than Soul of Cinder. Yeah, so I think we can all do that in one stream, because I don't think Twin Princes is going to be that hard. Oh, my phone's going crazy. Perfect timing. We're about to end things. Okay, so it's great seeing you all, guys. I'm glad that you're able to hang out. Got a few good questions. Very happy with that. We're almost closing out on this playthrough here, which is very good. Like I said, I'll probably do more sporadic playthroughs when we hit New Game Plus on this game. Just to kind of, whenever I'm trying to get screenshots for something, I'll just turn on the stream, kind of run through. If you guys want to pop in, ask some questions or something, I'll appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll just be doing my work, do the screenshots, either on this one or on New Game Plus. We'll see. Depends on what I need at the time. Actually, I have a few shots I need from New Game Plus, so I might do that. And then even if I have to start a new account for whatever reason, I'll even do the same thing and just keep that all on its own playlist, separate from this. Yeah, it's been great. We're approaching the end of this lore through, and then after that we'll be worrying about Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1, and other games and stuff. It's been great. It's been making this a lot of fun having to do this, so I don't feel like I'm just taking some hours doing work. I'm actually having a little fun kind of new little thing I'm doing with you guys. It's been great. Anyway, that's all for today. It's been a great time. So, everybody, see you later. Bye-bye.